Hello everyone, this is Hafsa Nisthar from Group 9. The group members are Zuhro Rabieva and Hafsa Nisthar. The title of our document is Learning Strategies Employed in English Language, Perception and Practices, written by Pitambar Podil.
Abstract. Learning strategies are the key tools to determine the approach for achieving the learning goals. They are included in different phases of teaching learning process. They are usually tied to the needs and interests of students to enhance their learning efficiency. In this article, the perspectives and practices of learning strategies in learning English language is being explained.
Content of this file are abstract, introduction, method, discussion, and conclusion. Introduction. Language learning is the process of internalizing a language, either a mother tongue or a foreign language. Learning a language means being competent in manipulating the four basic language skills: listening, speaking, reading and writing, and various aspects of language. To get mastery over these language skills, a learner uses his or her personal approaches, which are termed as learning strategies. Learning strategies determine the approach for achieving the learning objectives and are included in the pre-instructional activities, information presentation, learning activities, testing, and so on. A learning strategy is a person's approach to learning and using information for boosting up personal efficiency and ability in language use. Students use learning strategies for understanding information and solving language-related problems. Language learning strategies are attempts to develop linguistic, communicative, discourse, and sociolinguistic competences in the target language, that is, by employing various and appropriate learning strategies. They can enhance all-round growth and development in language and language use.
Method. Learning strategies are the key tools to determine the approach for achieving the learning goal. They are included in different phases of teaching learning process. They are usually tied to the needs and interests of students to enhance their learning efficiency. This article aims at exploring perspectives and practices of learning strategies in learning English language. For this, phenomenological descriptive qualitative research was conducted with a class of 48 students of Bachelor in Education at a constituent campus under Tribhuvan University, Nepal. Both the class of the students and campus were selected purposefully to meet the requirement of phenomenological study. 30 classes were observed as a participant as well as teacher, and from the same group of the students, only 10 students were interviewed. Then the data from both the sources were triangulated, interpreted, and analyzed descriptively. From this study, it was interpreted that students employed various strategies to learn difficult language skills and aspects. The study revealed that students felt this difficulty in selecting proper learning strategy for learning grammatical rules due to many exceptional cases and listening skill due to their less time devotion on it, while they felt is to select and employ proper strategies and learning vocabulary.
The results of the study is the study explored what learning strategies students use in learning language, skills, and aspects and their perception and motivation towards learning strategies and English language. The results are the culmination of students' practices and voices and share a deep perspective into their lived experiences. To study learning categories employed by the learners in learning English language, I focused my research around two primary questions. To what extent are the students familiar and motivated to the concept of learning strategies and learning English language respectively? And the second question, what strategies do they employ to learn English language aspects and skills? First, I clearly identified the phenomena, then elicited the participants' perspectives and practices by coding, reading, and categorizing them. The accumulative description provided me to identify and describe it under language aspect and skills. Here in this, the learning strategies are classified into three as metacognitive strategies, cognitive strategies, and socio-affective strategies. Since learning strategies are unique to individuals, they have been classified differently by the scholars. In this, classifies as metacognitive strategies, cognitive strategies, and socio-affective strategies as the learning strategies that learners employ in learning second language. Metacognitive strategies are used to express executive function. The strategies are required for planning, learning, thinking about the learning process as it is taking place, monitoring of one's production or comprehension, and evaluating learning after an activity is completed. Cognitive strategies are more specific to learning tasks and they involve more direct manipulation of the learning materials itself. Repetition, resorting, translation, note-taking, contextualization, elaboration are the most important cognitive strategies. Similarly, the strategies which are related with social mediating activity and transacting with others are socio-affective strategies. Cooperation, questions for clarification are the examples of cognitive strategies. In the same vein, Rubin classifies learning strategies, communicative strategies, and social strategies as the major categories of learning strategies employed by learners which contribute directly or indirectly for effective and sustainable language learning. Learning strategies are those which directly contribute to the development of the language system constructed by the learners. Cognitive learning strategies and metacognitive are the two types of learning strategies. Cognitive learning strategies refer to the steps or operations used in learning or problem solving that requires direct analysis, transformation, and synthesis of learning items. Identifies classification, verification, guessing, or inductive interference, deductive reasoning, practice, memorization, and monitoring as the main cognitive learning strategies. And Rubin concedes that metacognitive learning strategies are used to oversee regular or self-direct language learning. Communicative language learning strategies focus on the process of participating in a conversation and getting the contextual meaning that the speaker has intended. The speakers use the strategies when they face some complexities due to the fact that their communication is misunderstood by the co-speaker. Similarly, social strategies are those activities or processes which afford the opportunities to be exposed and practice their knowledge. Although these strategies provide ample exposure to the target language, they contribute directly and indirectly to learning since they do not lead directly to obtaining, storing, retrieving, and using of language. Directive strategies lead direct contribution to the obtaining, storing, retrieving, and using of the language to the learners in learning language. Similarly, cognitive strategies include practicing, receiving, and sending messages, analyzing and reasoning, and creating structure for input and output. Likewise, compensation strategical deals with using linguistics and non-linguistic clues, switching to the mother tongue, selecting topic, words, etc. It incorporates guessing intelligently and overcoming limitations in speaking and writing. Effective strategies, on the other hand, are the serve to regulate emotions, attitude, and motivation. On the basis of learning strategies employed, identifies visual, analytical, auditory, and impulsive as the types of learners.
Benefits of learning strategies. Learning strategies focus on making students more active learners by teaching them how to learn and how to use what they have learned to be successful. Similarly, teachers are helped by giving valuable ideas and clues about how their students assess the solution plan, select appropriate skills so as to understand, learn, or remember new input presented in the language classroom.
Conclusion. Language learning strategies, which are individual, context, and content specific, play a significant role in a successful language learning process. Whatever the background learners are, they employed one or more learning strategies for fostering their capabilities in learning second or foreign language. This study showed that all the participants were aware and familiar with the basic concept and the use of learning strategies in second or foreign language learning process. They were found to be using one or more activities to cope with the language skills or aspects that they were encountered with in classroom learning. The accounts of the learners in studies shows that learners could not make the use of two or more activities or could not shift from one to another while learning English language grammar, as it has many exceptional cases and listening skills due to their less effort and time devotion which they did in many learning other aspects and skills. Similarly, the study also reflected that the participant felt more difficult to select and use proper techniques in learning grammar than others. The common strategies they employed in learning English were rehearsal, organization, metacognition, elaboration, visual, audio, and communicative. The study encourages the learners to use tricks or techniques which fit to the context, content, and their ability. At the same time, it has made the teachers aware of various learning strategies by which she or he could set up appropriate teaching strategies to make a successful language teaching. It has opened the door for textbook writers, curriculum designers, planners, and policymakers to adapt and include appropriate instructional strategies that fit the learner's interest level and capabilities.